everybody. Thank you again for joining me today, and I thought it would be kind of fun to talk a little bit about the magic and the lore, the gypsy lore, anything that is magical, paranormal that is in the story. Once again we go back to Bithia. Bithia was a gypsy, and she taught Shaolin a whole lot of interesting things, and these would be some of the items that she would have used. And when we talk about magic or paranormal abilities, every culture has access to this, and everybody has the ability to do this. And what Bithia was trying to do was to teach Shaolin that she had these abilities within her, even though Shaolin felt that she did not. We go back to the journey of self-discovery, and Shaolin was trying to reclaim and relearn once again who she truly was, and she was getting glimpses of that in her past lives as Samaya. So today I thought I would show you a few items that I have collected through the years and things that I have used to use. I've collected a lot of herbs and a lot of books, and if anybody wants to learn any more about any of the indigenous cultures, magic and lore, this one is great for the Arthurian people, the Celtic Arthurian people. And this is the 21 Lessons of Merlin, and this is actually written by a druid, and this is really an interesting read, and he gives you exercises and things to learn and study. And the one thing that I took away from this book that I utilize today is druids did not eat meat. And when he was teaching Arthur, he made Arthur go for a long period of time without eating meat. And I touch upon this in book 2 of Samaya. And we're finding out that we are what we eat, and when we ingest animals, we can take that energy in. And so people who eat a lot of red meat tend to, well, I say they act like cows, but their learning is clouded, and they're always sick, So anyways, that's one of the things I thought was really interesting, that the druids did not eat meat, and all like the natural realms, the Fey realm, they didn't partake of meat either. They were vegetarian. But anyways, another interesting book, really want to get into gypsy magic and gypsy culture, this one is We Borrow the Earth, and I just love this book. And it's true, the gypsies say we borrow the earth, and it's kind of sad today what we're doing with it, and how we're taking up her resources, and we take and not give back. And those of you who have read book 1, they know that I talk about this, and this is why the great shift is coming, because the Mother Earth is trying to lose her dense physical body and become more of an etheric body, raising her vibration just as we are today. It all coincides with the teachings of 2012 and where we are heading now after 2012. And we get into that more in book 2, how it all started. And this is another, Walking the Path of the Gypsies. This is another really great book. This guy went and he got to know the tribes in India, and he got to learn a lot of true history. And this is where I based a lot of my information when I wrote about the Gypsies. And James Redfield, the Celestine Vision, he wrote the Celestine Prophecy first. And for those of you who are looking and interested in parallel universes, and where our ascension and the raising of our vibration, and where do we go after that? You know, if we raise our vibration from the third dimensional world that we live in today, where do we go? You know, and it's kind of like what happened in book 1. You know, they shifted, and what did they leave behind? You know, everybody that wanted to stay in the third dimension, they didn't want to raise their vibration. So those who chose to shift, you know, were part of the Great Gathering, and that's exactly what they did. So anyways, but I just thought, you know, we have so many indigenous cultures that talk about all the same issues. You know, we have all the same visions and the same theories, and I thought this was interesting on my journeys. I met this really great, he was a fantastic artist, and he did carvings. He went way up above tree level in the mountains, and he did these beautiful carvings on the twisted, gnarly old wood, you know, that he'd find up there. And I got to know him. And one day he gave me this envelope, and it says, "This is very special to our people. This carries as much power as our sacred feathers. It is hair from the Comanche Nation, sacred white buffalo. Keep this with you always. It will bring you good thing. Be as one with the Mother Earth." You know, so that's one of my big messages in book 1. And you know, to receive a gift from an Indian nation, I mean, and white buffalo. So, yeah, white buffalo was dirty, but you can see the hair, and then this is the tooth from the white buffalo. So that was quite an awesome gift. But anyways, our world is full of things. Our world is full of gifts. And for those of you who are interested in, you know, learning about magic, and you know, magic is a pretty easy thing. It's just opening up your mind and believing that you can do it. And you know, Shaolin, remember Shaolin was in the woods with Bithia, and she had to find a ran. You know, she wanted to find a stick, you know, like the one that Bithia carried. And remember the one that fell out of the tree on her head? Well, this is the one that was gifted to me. And what you do is you go in the woods and you just asked. You know, you ask the tree divas, you ask the fairy divas if there is a gift for you. And you walked right to it. And so I thought this was my interesting one, which I never use, of course, because I'm like Shaolin. I learned very quickly that, you know, all your magical tools, you know, are only extensions of your inside, you know, what abilities you have within you. And so even though I like to play with herbs and interesting things, and I just like to collect them, I mean, but this is interesting. I mean, these are pitch. When the trees get hit by lightning, the trees, you know, the ponderosas, pine trees will pitch, and they'll drop little balls of pitch. And I thought, how interesting is that? You know, it carries the energy of the earth. And trees, I mean, trees, they're in the ground, they're in the earth, and they're up in the air at the same time. And then to be hit by lightning, I mean, how magical is that? So a lot of times if I want to do a journey or a meditation, I'll take one of these and I'll light them and just let them burn, you know? I mean, I'll light them in with my shell and my sage leaves and my lavender sometimes. And it puts off a wonderful scent. And it just grounds you, and it just keeps you connected to Mother Earth, you know. And I mean, she's the one that does the healing. So, you know, like Shaolin, she learned that it was very interesting to gather these tools like the Druids. You know, the Druids teach their students, you need to go out and gather a tool that's representative of all the 4 quarters of the wheel of the year. And so that's what they would do. They would spend time with each section of the year and go and make a magical tool. But Shaolin learned her hands. That's where her power came from, was her hands. And that's, you know, that's what I learned when I was working with energy healing and helping my horses heal. And you learn about that, you know, with Shaolin and Nero. You know, so it's fun to use all these tools as we learn, but eventually we can set these aside and know that it's all inside of us. And that's what Shaolin learned. You know, it was inside of her. And, you know, book 2, you know, she is able to use that and learn about that. You know, it's something that they want her to learn. But in book 1, you know, we're back into the Dark Ages when, you know, we know that was forbidden. You know, it was punishable by death. So, you know, she had to learn to balance. And it's very interesting because now in book 3, you know, once again, you know, they're going to be in a different dimension, the 5th dimension. They've shifted and they've risen into a different dimension. And, you know, what kind of world is this going to be? And they're going to be able to use all their magic. And what kind of magic will they have back then? But I just thought it'd be interesting today. You know, Bithia liked to use her tea. You know, she was either smoking her pipe, you know, and like I said before, a pipe was her connection to the outer world, her guides, you know, and then she would read the tea leaves. Well, this is another interesting thing that, you know, divination that you can do. You just take a little piece of paper and you just want to center yourself and, you know, surround yourself with the right white light, you know, and you put out, you know, what your question is, what is it that you're seeking, what kind of, you know, what is it you're looking for, and then you get quiet. And, you know, you just take your paper on the, I hope you can see that, you take your paper and wave it over the flame. And don't worry about what it is, it's, you know, be careful so it don't burn on fire, you know. Actually, I like to use watercolor paper. It's thicker and it doesn't burn as easy, but you get these great images and lines. So, and I'm burning it. Great. Here. See, those of you who know me, I'm an air sign, and this is exactly what happens when I use fire. Burn the whole place down. But anyways, I came prepared. And this is the one that I used earlier. Well, that was pretty interesting, wasn't it? I gotta see what the shape is. Oh, okay, it looks like a bear. You can see it right here. There's a bear face. Bear, that's very interesting energy. But anyways, I thought this one was kind of cool also. So you can do this without setting the paper on fire. And like I said, I didn't have any watercolor paper. Watercolor paper works better because it's heavier and it doesn't burn as easy. But whatever you get, there's a reason. And this bear, I mean, this looks like a Native American fetish right here. How interesting. So anyways, well, yeah. So, you know, Magic 101. So anyways, join me again when, hey, I might set the house on fire. Who knows? But anyways, you know, you get air sign with fire. Oh, look out. So once again, thanks for joining me. And read on.